I'm I'm shocked, to be honest with you. Like, that's the best way I can put it. That was a crazy way to end Monday Night Raw. I dug it. I I don't even know what to say. I had joked about Seth Rollins. For those that are just joining, welcome to the Raw Results Highlight stream. I'm only going to be doing these when I enjoy the show. Last week we didn't do a results video, but for 3/13/2017, we are, in fact, doing one right now. So welcome. If you guys are coming in, you can give me some thoughts. Let me go over the show really quick and focus on the big key point of all of tonight. So tonight, the big point was that Stephanie McMahon was making Mick Foley step up. And I've said all year long that they basically put Mick Foley in charge as the gimmick act, just like Daniel Bryan is on SmackDown. But really, the Authority pulls all the cards. And the way they treat Mick Foley, the way they do everything. And then look what happened. Finally, Mick Foley tonight was put in a position after weeks of and months of pay-per-views where the Authority wasn't at the shows, so stuff went haywire, like at Fastlane. Look what happened, and you thought Fastlane sucked. Well, the Authority wasn't in control. So tonight, they're forced. Mick, listen, Mick, you got to fire somebody. You got to trim the fat. You got to cut it down, Foley. And look what happened. The decision went back and forth all night. Now, I saw a lot of different people speculate on who it was going to be. It's going to be Sami Zayn 100%. I know damn well it's going to be Sami Zayn. It wasn't Sami Zayn. I had said, well, he's going to go down on his own. He'll just, like, fire himself. And then he pulled out, and then I joked, I'm like, he's going to fire Triple H because Stephanie's not on the Raw roster. She's his boss. And Triple H is the COO, but he is a member of the Raw roster, and he's already got a confirmed match for WrestleMania. So what better way to do it than just fire Triple H, like, and then that's being the good guy for Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins was going to come out. I never expected Finn Balor tonight. I see a lot of people complaining for the fact that Finn Balor wasn't here tonight. I never saw Finn Balor coming here tonight. If you guys saw my Raw, my fantasy booking for WrestleMania, which go check out my fantasy booking for WrestleMania if you're just joining here, I basically talked about how the Finn should not even be a part of WrestleMania until the close of the show. You have Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, which represent an old era. In today's day and age, you want to go big and you want to get the world talking. So what I said was you're going to have Brock and Goldberg. They're going to do however long they want. And then you're going to have a guy like Finn Balor and the club come out, maybe AJ Styles, and beat the living hell out of him. That way it gets that big pop at the end of the show instead of going off air with something you don't like. Although they also went off air with Roman Reigns last year. So with the results, you had Mick Foley being put in a position, listen, you got to fire somebody. So all night he was kind of walking around, and we got some interesting moments. Let's start off right away. It was a promo from Paul Heyman that I have to be honest with you, I don't know if I like the Paul Heyman promo. Tonight was the first Paul Heyman promo I don't think I could really get behind. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, but the crowd in the Joe Louis Arena, which, by the way, the last night that's happening, just was not as active. They were not. In the Joe Louis Arena, they just weren't like the Goldberg chants, and it's happened in other places, but it should have been deafening to the point where he has to, like, stop him. And, you know, he kind of mocked him, and he went after him and trying to figure out the game plan well before. I mean, he's beat us in a minute 28, but 26, but, you know, last week we F5'd him, so that changes it all. Well, last week, Paul Heyman distracted him, so he turned his head, which allowed the F5. So I did speculate, and I want to get your guys' thoughts in the live chat if you guys are watching this. I will check it in the comments near the end of the video, and we'll talk and have a discussion. I just want to get through this as fast as possible. With this, I had said, what if they were going short on purpose? A minute 26, Royal Rumble confrontation really small, to eventually make this, because the speculated time is like 15 to 17 minutes. Like in the age of WWE, right? Like, if you think the government, like, leaks files to the news for the media to spread, well, WWE probably does the same thing. And you start throwing out times, like, from bell to bell, it should be 15. I think JR, whoever said that, was like, it should be 15 minutes bell to bell. And a lot of people are like, how the hell can they go that long? Do you see what Goldberg looks like? When he comes out, yeah, he is really jazzed. He does look out of breath. But Goldberg's in damn good shape, and that's coming from a lot of people that aren't in good shape judging him. I think Goldberg can go. But that's where if he can't go, you have the club there to decimate both of them, and you're going to get the biggest pop of the night. Like if Brock Lesnar finally wins and he's the big king shit. What happens when the club comes in? Finn, which is Triple H's golden boy, and Finn's like, I saw how you treated Seth Rollins. I saw how you treated everybody else. I'm going to shut that shit down. And he actually does shut that shit down. And then you have Evolution or the New Authority versus the club. I think that's where it can go, and I'm hoping to God it is. Then you had the Stephanie McMahon, Mick Foley segment, which we talked about. And then you had Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke. Now, I speculated a couple months ago that Nia Jax would interfere a little bit, right? Like Nia Jax would get in the middle and she would be kind of like a wrecking ball. So when Foley wasn't here the past week, Dana Brooke came back out and a couple weeks ago, and they've kind of had some tension. They showed up at the pay-per-view, and when she was in her championship match with Bayley on Raw, she tried to come out, and Sasha Banks saved her. Well, that's really putting a lot of pressure on Dana. And a lot of people think this was random tonight that we had, I should probably say Sasha Banks won the match, by the way. And then Charlotte berated her for, flying in her coattails, essentially. And by flying in her coattails, which everybody's like, this is random. It should have been months ago. Why would it have been months ago? She just cost her the title a couple weeks ago. Like, that's the part I don't get. I think fans are just complaining to complain these days because Dana got involved, and then Sasha came out and took out Dana, and then Dana gets berated the next week, and then finally this week we get the turn, and now everybody's like, I saw some people on Twitter like, it's random, but welcome to the good side, Dana, and it is true. So I think this is what it kind of sets up. So now they kind of had the turn, and then maybe at WrestleMania, this is what I'm speculating at WrestleMania, in the triple threat match, you could have, well, after what happened tonight, it may be a 4-person match. But Dana could come out and make the good guy save. And she could make it so maybe when Charlotte's about to win, Sasha hits her finisher, and then Bayley clears out Sasha and she retains. So that way we get Bayley versus Sasha Banks, and then Dana Brooke and Charlotte at Extreme Rules, right? Because she cost her the title. She cost her the WrestleMania moment. You have a reason for Charlotte Flair to beat the shit out of Dana Brooke at Extreme Rules. I think that's how they can book it, and I think that's where they can go. Mick, for those people that are asking in the chat, Mick Foley fired Stephanie McMahon. He came out, and the thing I loved about that, though, and I'm going to jump into the main event really quick, because he tried to fire Stephanie McMahon, and Stephanie was like, Mick, you can't do that. I'm your boss. And then she railed on him about the cheap pops. We bought you back. You're a nostalgia act. You're, the cheap pop. You think it'd be a good laugh to fire me when you know you can't. And that was good writing. Like, I have to admit it, that final segment was fantastic. I will say, with the whole Trump thing going on, and especially seeing them at the White House and the picture of Triple H, like, I don't know if you guys see the meme when Triple H was at the White House with Donald Trump, and he's looking away like thinking back to your glory days before you sold out. I love that meme, by the way. And then we went into the Warrior Award, which I'm very happy it's Eric LeGrand. I had to make this, and let me pull this up really fast because I saw a lot of like wrestling news websites be like, yeah, I think Eric Grand really deserves it. But, like, shouldn't it have gone to something wrestling related? And that's where I said no. Because the Warrior Award, and this is what they actually, like, build the award on. The Warrior Award is given to individuals who have exhibited unwavering strength and perseverance and whose lives live with courage and compassion that embodies the indomitable spirit of the ultimate warrior. And that is Eric. That is Eric 100%. So to hear people be like, it should be a wrestling fan. It should be like... Just please stop. Like, everything that he's went through, and I knew him before WWE. Like, I had, already known his story, and I'm so glad, like, when you're warrior, the spirit of the ultimate warrior, never give up to fight everything, and I said John Cena's line, but that's who it is. So I'm very glad he got the award. I know some people were kind of bickering about it, but it's good. Those people in the chat, I will come back and read the messages. I'm just going to try to go through the show as fast as possible. Then we had TJ Perkins and Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick and Tony Nese. In the end, Nese actually got a victory. I was like, who the hell's going to win, right? Because I was hoping, and I'm still hoping, who in the chat, guys, wants to see a Cruiserweight ladder match at WrestleMania? That's what I want to see. I think the Cruiserweights, because they're the high-flying action guys, right? they should get the Money in the Bank, not a Money in the Bank ladder match, but they should get a ladder match at WrestleMania. I think that would be sweet. Put it on the pre-show, put it on the main card. I don't care, but they could go huge. But I'm also not going to complain because we're going to get Austin Aries versus Neville most likely, because I'm also super pumped for that. Then, so Tony Nese and Brian Kendrick get the win. Tony Nese had the roll-up pin. And then backstage, you had Luke and Carl. And basically, they don't care. But they do have a point. Since they won the championships, the focus has been on the number one contenders between Cesaro and Sheamus and Enzo and Big Cass. They haven't got the chance to come out as tag team champions and do their thing. It's always been about who's the number one contender heading into WrestleMania season. There hasn't, in fact, been a spotlight for them. There really hasn't. So we'll talk about that in a second, because it was a little like, come on. You had Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe taking on Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho. Great booking. Absolutely fantastic booking. People are going to say that Sami Zayn keeps losing and Sami Zayn is buried. It's the ultimate underdog story. I've said it all freaking year. It's best friends. I'm still hoping for the triple threat for the U.S. title where Sami beats both of them. But because KO has no reason to win, because KO's got his rematch. So Y2J is going to film for a month. He doesn't need the title. I see Sami Zayn getting added to this match, Sami Zayn winning at WrestleMania, KO going on to the other title, Y2J getting his rematch, and then Y2J touring with Fozzy. That's how I see it going down. But in the match, Sami sold psychology. This is the third time Sami has done it now, and I put up 2 fingers. If you remember back to Seth Rollins versus him, he had a reason to lose to Seth Rollins because he was selling the knee injury the whole night. It's something that WWE superstars haven't done, other than like the Cruiserweight, the UK tournament. They had some psychology too. You give a reason to lose. So right, like if you are a big name guy like Sami Zayn and you have a former champion like Seth Rollins, yeah, he could beat Sami clean, but like having him sell an injury makes sense. So tonight, Sami went over the top rope, came down on his knee. I hope to God it's kayfabe. It better be, because that would just fucking suck. But then they basically just beat the shit out of him and they caused a DQ. Sami tried to get up and fight on a bad leg. They were trying to talk about it. And then Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens just started stomping him out and just beating him down and just taking him out. And then finally, it was kind of an awkward segment because Owens went to punch Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe took him down for the Coquina clutch. He just took him down. It was like, okay. But then he eventually got on top and started pummeling him. But that's when, like, that's a big deal because you are just burying Sami Zayn. And I've said it, like they had the Blue Balls comment. You are trying to make Sami Zayn the absolute lowest common denominator. So when he overcomes, it is like Bray Wyatt. They are doing the Bray Wyatt thing again. I implore you, as somebody that said Bray Wyatt's moment would come, that all burying would lead to the final pop. That's what WWE can do. They can treat you like shit for 2 years, and when they finally win, you're going to pop and you're going to go crazy for it. So Sami Zayn is in the same situation. He's going to keep losing, and eventually Sami Zayn will get the W, and everybody will blow the shit up. I guarantee it. After the bell, after the Coquina clutch, Jericho came back in, and Jericho tried to put him in the walls of Jericho, and that's when Joe was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And then eventually the referees try to come out to stop it. Samoa Joe throws KO, Y2J, and he pop-up power bombs him. And when he pop-up power bombed him, I was like, yeah. I was like, this is what I want, because this is setting up, like I said, at WrestleMania, if we get Finn Balor in the club, with you got KO, you got Samoa Joe, you could put in the Authority, and versus somebody like the club would be huge for Monday Night Raw. I think that would be rad as hell. Then we went backstage, and she offered help to who to fire and everything. And then that's when, again, they hit on Sami Zayn again. Stephanie suggested him, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's the boyhood dream of Sami Zayn. And for Bayley, it's the girlhood dream at WrestleMania. She calls Sami Zayn an honored performer. Again, laying waste to a guy Foley has tried to protect. So if you think about it, she suggested firing people that Mick Foley has been trying to protect. Like when he was going up against Braun, Sami, you don't want to do this. So Mick Foley is looking out for the talent. And Nia Jax comes in, and Nia's like, listen, I took her out for a month, and then she kept me down on the shoulders for a count of 3. I should be in the match at Mania. And Stephanie's like, Mick Foley tries to talk, and Stephanie is like, shut up, Mick. Yeah, good. And then she gets a non-title match. It's like, that's not what she asked for, but cool. And eventually Nia Jax would go on to get a DQ on Bayley, just pummeling her. But the big thing to note is before they went out for the match, Sasha Banks backstage planted a seed in Sasha's head, or Sasha planted a seed in Bayley's head, like, hey, yeah, good luck. Well, I just, because all that controversy, you weren't the real champion, and just all this, like, laying the seed in her head about, not being the proper champion because of her helping and not actually, doing it on her own. Again, separating the two for their eventual feud after WrestleMania, which I'm so pumped for. And then during the whole beating of Nia Jax, guess who didn't make the save? Sasha didn't make the save. She didn't. And that's what's so rad about it. So if you pay attention to the small stuff like that, it's really rad in my opinion. And then we had the New Day talk segment. So apparently we're not getting Big Show versus Shaq, which who in the chat, I'll try to read this, who is upset the fact that we're not having Shaq versus Big Show? I, for one, was getting excited because for those of you who know who in the MMA boxing world, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, they threw it out as like a crazy possibility 6 months ago, and they've been trying to like hammer out a deal, and they're like, the fight's never going to happen. And then finally Floyd's like, F you, bitch, sign the contract, let's go, I don't care about money, I'm coming out of retirement to fight you. It's a money fight. They're just gimmicking you to make you want it. And I thought that's what they were doing with Big Show and Shaq. Like, Shaq's backing out, like, I wanted to do it, but the people over there, and the Big Show's like, nah, it wasn't me, it was them. To try to get people to care, and then everybody's like, I'm trying to do the white guy blinking face thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they were trying to get, and they just couldn't get any traction, or maybe Shaq couldn't wrestle. But with the New Day talk segment, the New Day with the host of WrestleMania, which I love the boys New Day. Like, when I got to hang out with them at the 2K playtest, they're rad dudes. They really are. Xavier's fucking awesome. Biggie and Kofi. They're pretty much the corporate salesmen for WWE. They can sell you products, but doesn't make you feel like you are watching an ad because they're so entertaining. That's what they do. They're just... WWE built characters that are good at shilling products, and that's like, they're out there tonight shilling the Jetsons. And then they had Big Show on. And then in probably his best segment of all time, I don't know why he was there, but they're talking about the Jetsons, and Titus O'Neil came out, and Titus O'Neil was like, I love the damn Jetsons. And like, why isn't he in there with the Titus brand? And I'm sitting there like, damn, this is the most I've seen out of Titus in a long time. Like, I dig this. But then I went, oh, no. That means we're not getting Big Show versus Shaq. And I even tweeted out, like, yeah, he could just bury him, and we could still get Shaq. But during the match, when he chokeslammed him 3 times, they verbally said, oh, if you're in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, you're going to have to watch out, which fucking sucks. I mean, I'm glad Big Show's in the Battle Royale. Don't get me wrong. But McGee, yeah. Shaq, if they get JaVale McGee in the triple threat match, because that was so widely searched. Maybe WWE saw JaVale and Shaq were like, nobody wants to see Big Show. All right, let's move on. Then we got the number 1 contenders match. Enzo and Big Cass taking on Sheamus and Cesaro. So, how many people back in the day in August and October when they were going through the best of 7 and they got paired as a tag team by Mick Foley bringing out the best in them? Again, that was a Mick Foley idea. And I was like, hell yeah. My tweet from September's like, I dig Sheamus and Cesaro. Just a bunch, 2 bruisers, right? Like, I think that's my tweet that I put out back in September. I got to find it really quick. That's what I love, because they put them together. Everybody said, Sheamus and Cesaro being together is the stupidest thing in the world. Why would you do that? This is so dumb. I know it's going to fail. I know it's stupid. I know it's going to be this. And then you fucking dig Sheamus and Cesaro now. I love them as a tag team. And I was one of the people that said, just wait. It's like Brock versus Goldberg hadn't even happened yet, and everybody's like, fuck that match. It's going to suck. Like, that's what I'm saying. Just wait. Just let the story develop, my dudes. So Sheamus and Cesaro taking on Enzo and Big Cass ended up in a DQ or no contest when This is the logic I don't get. You want the spotlight on you. I get it, 100%. Why would you then interfere in a number one contender as a tag team? Let's think logically. I get why they did it because, like, it is true, and I said it when we first started talking about the tag teams. They became champions, but everybody was talking about the number one contenders, Enzo and Big Cass and Sheamus and Cesaro. Nobody was talking about the fact that Luke and Carl were the tag team champions. So I get their point, but couldn't you have waited until a winner happened and then beat the shit out of them? Like, you effectively, to make your own spotlight and put yourself in the spotlight, what did you do? You made the match a triple threat at WrestleMania. So you made it so you don't even have to be involved in the pinfall decision to lose. God damn, it's like I said that was going to happen so eventually they could show up in the main event and beat the shit out of Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. So I'm nailing it so far. Them adding in doesn't make any sense right now, but if they lose their titles and they need to band together, bro, they got a reason to band together at the end of the show. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. If that happens at the end, I expect a check from the Fed because I've been saying it for 2 months. They beat the hell out of him. They gave him the magic killer, and they two-sweeted each other. So imagine having a reunion. Everybody, two-sweet me. Oh, shit. When you actually take out your camera trying to two-sweet the camera. I took it out. So it's a big deal, man. It really is. Show ate that spinach for nothing. Yeah, my dude Show's getting all in. I love spinach salads, by the way. You may have noticed I'm looking dapper. Fucking A, man. Just fast and learn what hunger is. Eating spinach salads, dude. So backstage, Luke and Carl learn who they're going to face. We got the backstage with Roman and Undertaker, the video package that played. They're not happy. He threatens both of them, and then he makes the triple threat match. So it's predictable, but it also gives them a reason to get even more pissed. That's what I was saying. I love their shirts, by the way. That's hinting at something. And then... You don't hinder Jinder. Jinder Mahal, who, for those of you that don't know, on my breaking news earlier today, I made a video talking about Rusev being injured. He's got a shoulder injury, possibly needs surgery. He's going to be out of action a while, according to a WWE legend. And then that's why they would have broke up last week. And so Jinder now, I'll be honest with you, the Jinder we saw tonight, I was like, damn. But the Roman we saw tonight, the Roman that, like... He got distracted by the Undertaker's music. So Jinder and Roman were wrestling, and then the gong goes off. Gong. And then Roman gets, like, stopped or, like, stuttered or whatever. And it allows Jinder to hit that super sweet drop kick that, like, when life's going good, life just gets kicked in the face. So I really dug that. And then Roman ended up getting pissed and just beating the shit out of Jinder Mahal, which is cool too. And then he finally calls out The Undertaker. And then it went to break, and that pissed a lot of people off. But you have to think of it for a TV audience. If you were bringing back a name like HBK or Undertaker, and you were going to try to get TV ratings, that's the perfect time to go to a break. Not during a match, not during anything. You want to build hype. So to say that it was stupid to go to break is dumb, because you need to let the social media posts hit. You need to let everybody go, oh my God, Undertaker, he called him out. He's going to come out. And then Shawn Michaels came out. And I tweeted out, like, this is going to be you don't know what you're getting yourself into promo. And that's the way it went. He basically dropped the promo that he's already in your head, which is true. Like, if you think about Undertaker getting in the head, especially at Elimination Chamber with HBK, once Undertaker gets in your head, you're, like, looking around. Same thing with CM Punk. You think you're in control when you're really not. CM Punk chants, by the way, just got to fucking stop. Seriously, just my fucking man's gone. Although after this year with Goldberg coming back, next year, WrestleMania 34, the part-timer, CM Punk is going to complain. So here's a brain buster. If everybody complains that CM Punk got fucked out of his main event by part-timers, if CM Punk, the part-timer, comes back and fucks everybody else out of the main event spot, do you bitch at CM Punk too? Just let me know. I'll wait. Then Roman Reigns won, beat the shit out of him. And then when HBK had tried to talk to him, he drops one, and Romo, I don't think of Tony Romo. Roman Reigns was a different, like, he was heelish, but then he kind of cut it back baby, which was a little weird. He's kind of playing that tweener still. And as he's walking up the ramp, Braun Strowman, with the best gif all year, just comes up and just fucking barrel rolls him. Like, if you didn't see Raw tonight, you have to go watch just the gif from Wrestling GIFs on Twitter, or look for the YouTube clip. Roman Reigns is walking up the ramp, looks back, goes to turn around, and Braun, with one fell push, Roman just fucking tumbles down the ramp and smashes into the wall. Oh my God, give the video a thumbs up if you thought that was fucking sick. I thought it was rad as shit. Like, I want to make that my like donation sounds on streams. Like, just the he's like fucking smashed him. It was rad as hell. The fact that Braun Strowman, because Braun Strowman got a loss and he's trying to like react from the Roman Reigns loss. And when you're built as big as Braun Strowman was, you need a dominant presence. So when you have a guy like Roman Reigns who called out the fucking Undertaker, Braun was involved in that segment the week before, and then you have Roman Reigns right there, and then you have Braun right after HBK. You've now associated Braun Strowman in a segment with The Undertaker, and you've associated Braun Strowman in a situation with HBK. And I said this last year when they had that six-man tag that ultimately led with KO and Braun Strowman and Jericho versus Sami, Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. It's association, right? Sami didn't do anything all year, but then he was associated with champions. Braun, again, associated with champions. And then Braun just, oh my God. Braun, he just fucking, my man just wrecked him. He came in like, brr, and it was sick as hell. I was so pumped for that. So then we're backstage again with Foley and Stephanie. Just hit him. Foley's like, I want to try to talk you out of it. And Stephanie's like, no. You need to step up. You have 1 hour to do it. Then we have a video package with Austin Aries. Then we have Austin Aries versus Ari Daivari. Thank fucking God Austin Aries is back. Okay, I love all the cruiserweights. Ari Daivari, when I was working at WrestleCrate, I signed him. I put him in the crate myself with Vince Russo. I saw that Ari Daivari was going to eventually get signed, so I wanted him in there. A lot of the cruiserweights are fucking fantastic, but Aries has the personality. That's like the one thing, like when you have the cruiserweight division, they do a lot of the high-flying stuff. But besides Brian Kendrick, Austin Aries is Double A is personified. He is Mr. Personality. He is somebody you want to fucking watch. So as much as I talked about earlier, I want a cruiserweight ladder match at WrestleMania. Austin Aries versus Neville couldn't tear down the fucking house. It absolutely can tear down the fucking house. I am so excited for that match. You have no idea. We'll find out tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever 205 Live airs. We'll get to see who, in fact, ends up facing him. We got another replay of Brock and Goldberg, and then we had still to come was Nia and Bayley, and then Big Show versus Titus O'Neil. So Big Show just dominated the hell out of him, triple choke slams. And then that's when eventually Mick Foley came out, like, I just saw a superstar, blah, blah, blah. It was like, fire Titus. Like, come on. Like, I like Titus. I think he follows me on Twitter. But tonight was the first time I actually saw Titus kind of have something in him. Like, when he had the promo in the ring, like, months ago, I was like, Titus, come on, man. You know I like you, but I need something else. And tonight I saw that. Like, why the hell wasn't I in the Jetsons? I like the Jetsons. And, like, I think that should be Titus's brand. Titus should literally just come into all the brand shoots and be like, why the hell isn't that my brand? Is that not brand friendly for the Titus brand? Like, I think that's what he could do. That could be his gimmick in a way, because it worked tonight, in my opinion. I don't know who's going to keep beating the hell out of him. After, then we had the Billie Jean King Women's History video package. And then we had Bayley and Sasha backstage, and this is what I talked about. Sasha planted the seed in Bayley's head that she couldn't do it without her, like blah, 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 with all this controversy not being the real champion. And then Bayley and Nia happened, and Nia beat the living shit out of Bayley, and it went to DQ, and Sasha didn't make the save. That's kind of a big deal, because at WrestleMania, I think that's when Bayley finally capitalizes and makes her moment. Like, how big of a deal would it be if Sasha hits her finisher, or it's got the bank statement on Charlotte, and then she throws her out of the ring, or something happens where it costs Sasha her win, and Bayley's like, you helped me get the title, and I beat you for the title. And then that's when we can have those two, and then we can have Charlotte versus Dana Brooke. And that's where I logically see the storyline going from here. But it is what it is. All right, let's get into the main event. So finally time to fire, like we talked about right at the start of the show. Triple H hadn't been out yet, and I thought they were going to fire Triple H as a joke, but he ended up saying Stephanie said, listen, you got to fire somebody Foley. And he said Stephanie for the cheap pop, and then Triple H came out, and then Triple H got in his face, and then it got really jobby, like, you should be thankful you at least have a job. And eventually, Mr. Socko came out, and he's getting the shit beat out of him, and then Seth Rollins' music hit. Now, all night I was seeing on Twitter, this is another thing that, in the age of kayfabe, Finn Balor would post this, but why were we expecting Finn Balor tonight? Why was there so many tweets that if Finn Balor doesn't come out or make the save, tonight's going to be a shitty show? Why? Where did they say Finn Balor was going to be there? You can't keep getting mad because a surprise doesn't happen if it never was meant to happen. But Seth Rollins coming out, I'm like, he's faking the injury before he even came out. He comes out, and then he, in the iconic moment, drops the crutch. And then he goes after Triple H, but ultimately Triple H gets the knee and does lock him out for the end of the show. So it looks like Seth Rollins can be good to go, maybe write him off TV. But the iconic moment of Seth Rollins running down the ramp at WrestleMania could be recreated, and I think that's what they're going for. So what did you guys think of the show? Let me go over some of these comments. Ring of Honor, possibly Adam Cole, baby, after losing to Daniels, and is he going to come to WWE? Yeah, it didn't make sense for Finn to come out for Triple H. It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't get what people, they get their hopes up. Like, this is one of the things about being a WWE fan is because of how many rumors and spoilers and melters there are, we kind of all get our hopes up. And then if we don't, if what we envision happened, like with me, like I just view this as a logical storyline. Like, if they go in a different direction from what I planned, cool. That's rad. They got me fooled. But then I don't go and get super upset when an idea I thought of and they didn't, any idea existed, didn't happen. So like Finn tonight, before the show even started, tweeted out a photo with him with two remotes like, what channels Raw on? And I jokingly said, no, man, I was at the Joe Louis Arena in the green room. I know that couch. And people liked and tweeted it. I don't know why. In the chat, I'm going to go over some of your favorite moments for the highlights and stuff. What was your favorite part of tonight's Raw? For me, it had to be the fact that they tied back in the authority gimmick with constantly berating Mick Foley. I've said it all year, is they put at the brand split, they put the two fan favorite GMs in charge. Like, yeah, you're in charge. But do you notice how all the shitty pay-per-views are the ones when Stephanie's via the phone, when Triple H and Stephanie aren't there? Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan is the fan favorite and he's doing his gimmick, but now AJ Styles, who's a fan favorite, is going to end up facing AJ fucking Styles, which I'm going to throw this out as a possibility. Kevin Owens is owed a rematch clause. He just got taken out by Brock Lesnar after at a live event, and the day before he actually lost with Triple H thanks to a Y2J code breaker. So, like, what a big thing it would be. AJ Styles is owed a rematch. Kevin Owens is owed a rematch. I speculated in my fantasy booking video where at WrestleMania, what you do is you have AJ Styles beat Shane McMahon finally. He overcame the boss that was holding him down, and then he's ready on Tuesday night. The champ that runs the camp is here, baby. I'm ready to face Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, whoever it is. And then all night, he's like, well, Brian's like, yeah, man, you got your main event tonight. Main event, boom, you got it, AJ. Let's go. AJ Styles versus Luke Harper, main event for the WWE SmackDown Championship. By the way, Shane's not here yet. So Shane can show up limping to SmackDown and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. AJ, unfortunately, you're not getting your one-on-one rematch. And AJ's like, are you kidding me? I beat your ass in Mania. Shut up. He's like, listen, I really want to give you your one-on-one match, but you've been traded for this man. And Kevin Owens' music hits, and Kevin Owens comes out and wins the title on SmackDown. Just because I want the club to come back over. Foley trying to get the face reaction with Socko in 27 made you cringe, really, Jake. So you didn't like that part. Can't wait for the WrestleMania 67 for the Emma return. Do you think it was right for Jorge asks, George Jorge, you asked, do you think it was right for Seth Rollins to come out and be destroyed? Yes, because him coming out, well, one, it gets the new this shirt on sale. Could you imagine if you buy this shirt, like that Chris Jericho tag team, the Y2J AJ thing that happened that eventually didn't go anywhere. Like, think about that. You just buy the shirt and then he can't wrestle at WrestleMania. That would suck. You buy the shirt. I like the Kingslayer. That's probably the best shirt that Seth Rollins has ever had. I dug it. If I had money, I'd buy the shirt. But when you think about it, he came out, is it bad that he came out and got destroyed? No, because he came out to save Foley. He was limping, and that's when I said he was going to come out limping, and then he dropped the crutch in an iconic moment, and eventually Triple H went out and got the crutch and used it against him. So I think it made sense. My favorite moments was when Jericho brought the list back and put Tom Phillips on it, which was actually, yeah. So backstage, they had this segment where he was talking to the other announcer. I don't know his name. Is it Mick something? I don't know what his actual name is. And he's like, "Oh, Tom Phillips? You just made the list, Tom Phillips." I'm like, I popped so hard for that. I tweeted it out. I was like, that's rad. That is absolutely rad. I'm so excited for that. Do I have any insane ideas for WrestleMania? Nah, not yet. We'll talk about that at a later time. Seth Rollins shirt is definitely dope. And who do you think will be the final inductee in the Hall of Fame? I think the Hall of Fame is set. I think by announcing the Warrior Award, you've got your Hall of Fame class. I think that's it. I think that's where it shuts down. If Tom got fired after the whole Tom Rockhard thing, I mean, if Seth Rollins got to show his thing on, everywhere, I mean, is Tom really going to get fired? Am I related to Kevin Owens? No, but that would be a great compliment. When everybody keeps saying that, I should be like blocked, right? I should at least act like Kevin Owens. Yeah, that's what everybody was speculating tonight. So I'm going to cover this. I'm going to cover a couple topics, and we're going to end it. But Kurt Angle. So everybody's like, Foley's going to fire himself, and then Kurt Angle's going to be the GM. I love Kurt Angle. I said years ago that when Kurt Angle's music hits, I'm going to pop harder than a little fucking kid at a candy store. I'm ready to go, and I want to hear Kurt Angle's music. I'm ready to hear the, "You suck." And I'm the one that I'm not the one because other people did, but I actually was the first one to post about it before everybody else dropped the news scoop, Meltzer, and Wrestling Sheet. Because if you guys remember on my Twitter, I tweeted out the photo of Edge with a sign pointing at Kurt Angle. I knew Kurt Angle was coming back. I knew Kurt Angle was going to be the inductee. I posted as my Wrestling Scoop of the year was Kurt Angle. And I was so fucking excited, man. Like, I want Kurt Angle back in the ring. And for people that don't know, WWE is kind of being cautious. It's kind of like where they were with Ric Flair years ago, making sure they're, can compete. But for the most part, if you saw I've watched some of the videos on YouTube of his matches in like the UK and the independent scene, Kurt Angle can still fucking go. Even like Jim Ross said, he can still go. So to be honest with you, I think it's fine. I think he's ready to go. But the question is, what would he do? I don't want him just to rush a match at WrestleMania. I think if Kurt can go, maybe something at SummerSlam, maybe he can manage American Alpha like we've always talked about. But to think tonight that Kurt Angle is going to be the GM, it's again, WWE is a finite show, and you're not always going to get these huge surprises every week. And if you keep expecting the huge surprises, you're going to be let down. Shelton got surgery. You got Rusev hurt. You got Kane, who I found out owns an insurance agency, is hurt. Is trying to do his gimmick. And that's where I think Raw is set up. I think right now you have Braun Strowman looking like it. So after tonight, let's go over the recap of what everybody did. The storylines all got furthered, right? You had Big Show. You had it confirmed for let's think about the TV audience. In the TV world tonight, you had Mick Foley getting pressure to fire somebody all night, eventually going against the grain, standing up to his boss, but gets taken out, and then somebody else makes the day to save the day. You had Bayley and Sasha Banks, where Sasha got under Bayley's skin with a comment, and then Nia Jax beat the hell out of Bayley, and Sasha didn't make the save. That furthers the storyline. You had the Dana Brooke face turn tonight. You had Dana Brooke finally turning on Charlotte after Charlotte crapped on her and said she was riding on her coattails. Again, it furthered the story. You had Austin Aries coming out and having a hell of a match. Hell of a match is kind of a relative term, but to see him back out there is rad. You had Roman Reigns playing a different side of him tonight. Like when he got distracted by Taker, you could visibly see he was like a little shaken. And then he Superman punched the shit out of Jinder twice, so it made sense. The Luke and Carl thing doesn't make sense unless you talk about my fantasy booking, but hey, that's one out of multiple segments. The Sami Zayn Chris Jericho tag team match where Y2J says, my buddy Sami, when he said Sami was going to be his partner, brought him back into the fold after Sami lost to Owens again. He got the sympathy with getting attacked by Samoa Joe and KO again. So they're really setting it up for him to overcome a lot. It's just furthering the storyline continuously. Nice and Brian Kendrick is the only thing on the card I think really didn't further any storyline. Everything else furthered a storyline. Everything else had its points, and it kind of made sense. And right now, this is one of the things I'm saying, guys. Just wait. Like, if you are already saying that Goldberg and Lesnar is going to be short, you can't judge it just yet. And even if it is short, and the club thing that I keep saying happens, you want it to be short because they can just come out and decimate it. Could you imagine if the pay-per-view is at 9:50 and they finally come out for their entrance and everybody's like, they really are doing 1:25, and then it goes like 15 minutes over just to fuck with you. Like WWE, they already are probably going to have like a 4-hour, 3-hour pre-show, 4-hour show, 7 hours of wrestling. And the last 2 years, I was lucky enough to be in a suite at WrestleMania, so I had food, the bathrooms, all you can drink, and I got a little sloshed. I don't know if I could do 7 hours just sitting down in the like up in the stands, just chilling out there. So if they put it on at like 9:50, it would be the best WWE troll of all time. Make the entrances go to like 9:56, and then they put on a 15-minute bell-to-bell match, and then you still have the club come out just to troll the whole fucking IWC. That would be hilarious if they just put it to like 9:56. And then, boom, they wait. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you for coming out. 40 minutes. That went a lot longer than I thought it would for a results stream. So if the shows are good, we'll do these. I made that comment last week. I did it for SmackDown when Randy Orton burned down the Village. I say Village, but you know what I mean. Last week I didn't because I didn't think the story furthered all the storylines. Tonight, everything got furthered, maybe minus Tony Nese, but Tony Nese deserves a win, so I'm glad he finally got it. Strowman, are we going to get Strowman in the Battle Royale, or is Strowman going to get a match? I don't know. I think that's the question of the day. So if you guys enjoyed these videos and you want to see more of them, make sure to smack that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to share it to some friends that maybe they get to see Raw and they want to see a results video, make sure to let them know. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I think that's where we'll wrap it up. Until next time, it's your boy Tubby Emo. You guys got to too sweet me for that fantasy booking video. I got a link. If you guys haven't seen that fantasy booking, I go into more depth about this. I'll link you my fantasy booking for how I think the show can go down. What is going on, guys? There you go. You can hear it. Go show some love to this video right there. And until next time, it's your boy Tubby Emu. That was my fantasy booking. That was the Raw results. Until next time, we will see you all later. Too sweet me, bros.